Hey everybody, this is Cole Matthews. This is kind of weird making a video, but I know people have been asking me for updates on, how my treatment and chemo and everything's going. Well, if you don't know, about 2 years ago I got diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And we did all our boo-hoos, and after, talking to many doctors, we got with our doctor, Dr. Q, and we got on a regimen, and I did multiple rounds of chemo. And it had some success. It never actually went fully away. Well, then we started a different regimen, and that regimen also did not give us the success we wanted. It got it almost gone, but not all the way gone. And then I got in touch with my doctor. He got cancer in the middle of it, which is crazy, but he ended up getting cancer and went to MD Anderson. And the doctor they suggested me to, her name is Dr. Cleveland, she suggested me to MD Anderson. So then we went back and forth to MD Anderson for 6 months and a dozen surgeries. And my doctor down there decided that we went through 3 bronchoscopies, and on the 3rd one they finally found signs of the cancer that was left, that was inside my bones. So it went from Hodgkin's lymphoma, still is Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was in my lymph nodes. Well, now I have it in my spine, femur, and my humerus. I think that's what you said. But they ended up doing a couple bone biopsies, and they found out that it was still Hodgkin's lymphoma that was inside the bone. It just progressed a little further, and they decided that it was probably there from the beginning. Anyways, we figured that out. He suggested a new regimen. Well, we got on that new regimen, and it almost wiped it out, and it never actually got rid of it completely. And that leaves us to just back and forth to Houston. And then in the middle of all that, my insurance dropped me. United Healthcare, golden rule, they suck. But it's the same one that happened with that big dude that got shot. Anyways, that insurance dropped me. Well, in the middle of them dropping me, they didn't tell me, and I was getting a treatment that cost $170,000 for 8 hours, which is insane. I'm in the wrong line of business. But they dropped me and they didn't tell me. Well, then I get a bill in the mail for an insane amount of money that I ain't about to pay that. I can't. And then I ended up getting put on a payment plan to $2078. But anyways, I ain't gonna talk about that right now. But anyways, my insurance dropped me, and in the middle of them dropping me, I was able to get on an assisted Ambetter is what it's called, but it goes based off your income. Anyways, I got on the Ambetter, and the Ambetter does not take Houston, so I wasn't able to continue my stuff in Houston. So I'm actually paying out of pocket for my doctors in Houston to look over everything in Jackson. But the stem cell, which is where I'm at now, which sounds awful if you look it up, it's terrifying. But I go in January, and I'm supposed to start the stem cell, which is the next step to get rid of the cancer, because the chemo I'm on now is working. Well, let me take it back a little bit. Sorry, I'm jumping all around. I don't make videos, so it's a little odd for me. But I feel like God put it on my heart that I need to make this video, and maybe it'll give somebody a little encouragement if they're going through something hard. But and also I'm kind of at the end of the road. But anyways, we'll get to that if you stay to the end. But anyways, in the midst of my insurance dropping me and all that, I was not doing treatment because I was in between surgeries trying to figure out what was in the bones. Well, then I just started the new treatment, and that's the one that was $180,000. It's called the Red Devil, is what they call it. But anyways, I'm going off topic. They started me on that regimen in the middle of my insurance dropping me, and they said if this works, then they wanted to start me on the stem cell, which is a transplant to where they'll take my cells out of my body and freeze them, and then they'll pump me full of chemo and then put all my cells back into me, which doesn't sound that bad until you start talking to the doctors, and it sounds awful. The way I interpret it is different than everybody else, apparently. But anyways, I'm supposed to go in on the 5th of January, and they're supposed to stick my let me see if I have something to kind of give you an idea. They're supposed to stick my jugular with something about this big around, and they're supposed to put it in my jugular, and then they're going to pull cells out for however many hours. They said it could take up to 2 to 3 days, and I have to keep that in my jugular the whole time. And and then I would go home and rest, and then go back in 2 weeks, which would be on the 12th of January. And they would give me 5 days straight of chemo, and I won't be able to see my kids. I won't be able to see my wife for at least 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how my body responds. Just because I'll be at high risk of infection. But anyways, I'll be there for 4 weeks. Best case scenario, worst case scenario, as long as, worst case scenario is that it all goes good and I'm able to leave. I just have to stay a little longer. Could be up to 8 to 10 weeks. But when I get back home, I won't be able to leave my house for 100 days, which is insane. I'm gonna go crazy. But that's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is because I have a construction business and a flooring business that I don't think will be able to survive without me, which is terrifying because I got 2 kids and a wife. So I'm gonna make a GoFundMe, which will be on this link or whatever. However you do that, I'll figure it out after I make this video. But I'm gonna make a GoFundMe to kind of help that impact. And if you don't think you can help by giving any money, I understand. It's hard for everybody. But if you would, you can go find my business page and you can share on there. You can try to get us more work. I won't be doing the work personally. I do have guys that work for me, which is also scary because it's not just my family depending on me. It's who the guys that work for me, which are family. But anyways, I'm making this video because the other night I was playing with my kids, and my son told me that, "Daddy, I don't want you to die." And it hit me hard when he said that. It hit me like a brick wall. And he said, "I want you to come back home and play with me." So I'm swallowing my pride and I'm making this video to see if, if my community would maybe help, you know. I mean, I've been helped from so many people. Shout out to Drew Jackson. He actually did a ride for us a little over a year ago and raised a bunch of money. So if you need anything in real estate, call Drew Jackson. He's awesome. But I actually just got off the phone with him and he told me to make this video. And don't just think that you're giving money, because I mean, it took me a long time to make a video like this. And I will still continue to work, but I won't be able to at one point. Oh, I'm crying like a little sissy. Hold on. Oh. Anyways, I won't be able to work for 3 months, which is terrifying, because right now I work close to 18 to 20 hours, 7 days a week. I tell you, my family's gonna be sick of me by the end of this. But anyways, if you can help, would very much appreciate it. If not, just say some prayers for us. We'll definitely take some prayers. If you'd like to shout out our business, try to help us get some more work to help keep my guys busy while we're going through this trial, very much appreciate it. But if not anything, just say a prayer for my sons and my wife, because this is going through. It's not that bad, but I can't imagine watching somebody you love go through it. It's just not fair. Whew. Well, anyways, thank y'all and thank God, and sorry that I came on here and cried like a little sissy girl. Thank y'all. God bless.